Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to another episode of The Front. As always, if you would please check out the website at leadtheteam.net for free sales training, for motivational content, and for leadership tips. So, one other thing, please go to leadtheteam.tv. Make sure that you subscribe there. That's a YouTube channel. You can click the little bell notification icon there, or if you're on Facebook Live, click the little notify me button so that you get notified when I go live or upload new episodes. Now today I'm going to be talking about learning from losses right now on The Front.
Thanks for tuning in to Lead the Teams, The Front.
Yes, so thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and join me today. My name is Mike Phillips. I will be your host. This is The Front. And I am live on a couple different channels, so I'm going to real quickly here click over there and see who we've got. Whoops, there we go. Turn the sound off. So if you are joining me live, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Please feel free to drop comments in the sidebar or comments in the super chat on YouTube. And we're going to go ahead and have a discussion. So the theme this afternoon is all about learning from losses. And my inspiration for this, I take inspiration from real life. And high school football season is here. It's one of my favorite times of year. It's one of my wife's favorite times of year. Our kids, our oldest son is in high school. He's a senior this year, and he's playing football. And so we love this time of year because there's camaraderie between the parents. There's camaraderie between the student athletes, even the opposing teams. You know, these kids have a tremendous respect for each other. And, you know, we go out and we give it our all and we cheer for our kids. The kids give it their all. They play their hearts out and they want to win and we want them to win. And so, unfortunately, our son's team suffered their first loss yesterday. We're in the second week of games here, and we suffered our first loss against a team that was really good. It's against a good team. And so, it's one of those things that we played really well. Our team played really well. And as parents, as coaches, as fans, we could see how well these student athletes were participating in this contest. And, you know, ultimately, it's one of those things that we can see further sometimes when we're not the ones that are in the thick of it, when we're not the ones that are competing, right? We can see further past what the competitors can. And ultimately, especially if you are a parent, you know, and you're watching this, one of those things is you want to see your kids play well. You want to see them do well. You want to see them gain something from it, even if they don't take home a win. And certainly, don't get me wrong, I want my kids to win. Anybody who's watching this, I'm sure you want your kids to win, right? But ultimately, we want them to excel and we want to take pride in knowing that they feel like they had a job well done. So, as I mentioned, we suffered our first loss yesterday, and certainly the boys are upset. The fans, interestingly, from the stands, the fans were not terribly upset because we could see how much heart they had poured into this game. You know, and that happens in business also. So as I'm talking about this, because I'm going, how does this apply to business and management? And a lot of times, if you are watching someone perform like at work, you can see how well they're doing. You can see how hard they're trying. And even if they get frustrated because they don't produce the desired outcome, there's still a genuine feeling of pride and camaraderie from a, you know, management or leadership level. So that's how I'm likening this to business. Now, one of the coaches and I were talking after the game, and we both agreed. We're like, hey, look, here's the thing. It's better to lose right now early in the season and really learn something from it than it would be to take home a whole bunch of wins and hit a hard team partway through the season and not know how to react. And we do that in business also. See, we look at things as a series of success and failures or wins and losses. And we all want to take home just wins. We all want to take home just success. We want to have that constant, well, I want to win attitude. And that's great. But the thing is, what are you taking home when you don't win? Because it's not realistic to assume that you're just going to win 100% of the time. It's just not realistic. And if you are, then my challenge to you, if you're winning all the time, then not my challenge, but my bet is that you are not leveling up. You may be getting other people to level up, but you're not leveling up your skills yourself. So anyway, as I'm talking about this loss, one of the things you take home the lesson, because we were playing against this team, and they are really a good team. We were playing against a top-notch competitor. And so it wasn't just that the other team flat out came out and outplayed us, because we played with them. We were a contender. That was the discussion with the coach, was we are a contender in this game. We were competing. We were playing to win. What happened was it was a series of small mistakes on our end that defeated us. It wasn't even the other team. And we have that happen to us sometimes in life, in business. Sometimes it's a series of small mistakes that we make, small decisions that we make that create that defeat, or they create that loss for us, and it's temporary. So it's one of those things that oftentimes it's not that you're just flat being outplayed, or not that someone else is better than you, but just maybe that you don't have the skill set, and you've got to play that competitor right now so that you can see that, acknowledge it, and say, well, how am I going to attempt to do that in my life as well? So, hey, like I said, I'm live on a couple channels, so I'm trying really hard to keep eye contact with the camera. But if you are watching, feel free, drop some questions in the sidebar here, either Facebook or YouTube. I think I can see them. Stuff is coming up this afternoon. So, I'd love to hear from you. What sort of things have you learned from taking a loss, either in business or in life? What sort of things has happened to you? Oops, looks like I lost a connection. I'm going to kill that. What sort of things have happened to you in your life that you've taken to heart and you've really taken the time to learn from? As I mentioned before, it's not possible to just have wins. We would love to. Here's another note as I'm kind of progressing through this. You get better when you play other people that are better than you. You improve in business when you find someone that has the skill set that you want to go after. You only improve and level up, as I was saying earlier. You will only level up when you find someone that has that skill set and you are able to learn from them or emulate them, because you've heard the saying, success leaves clues, right? So in this football example, if these kids were playing against teams and they were just pounding them all season long, what happens when you get to game 7 or game 8 and all of a sudden you play a team that is a real contender? You play against a team that is really challenging. You won't have been challenged. You won't have developed those other skill sets. You may have only developed those 5 or 6 or 8 specific plays. You won't have you will not have had the opportunity to develop the other 2 or 3 that are necessary to beat that team that's better. It's the same thing in business. When you start out in sales, for example, you start out in sales and you're selling based on sheer enthusiasm. The one thing you know is enthusiasm, excitement, and I'm excited to be here, and enthusiasm sells, right? Well, then over time, you have to learn different skills and different skill sets to sell either additional products, more products, to advance in your career. If you want to move from sales, for example, into a sales management role, you have to learn other things. And if all you're doing is running side by side with other salespeople that have the same skill sets as you, guess what's going to happen? You're going to stay in the same place. So kind of in closing here, because I try and keep these 10, 15 minutes. Thank you again for those of you that are joining live. I saw 8 or 10 people cruise by. I haven't seen any comments, and I don't know if that's because I can't see them or because everybody's just watching and totally enthralled with the melody of my voice, right? In closing, every one of us is driven by some level of success in life. We want to be a successful family member. We want to be a successful husband or wife. We want to be have a winning attitude as a parent, right? You want to be successful when it comes to business. I want to be a great salesperson or a great closer, a great manager, or, there are all these different things that we want to see success in. And in theory, we all want to take home only wins. I would love that. I would love to constantly just take home wins, constantly have more sales, constantly take home a bigger check next month than I took home this month, and then the month after that, and so on and so forth, and continue to see those successes and wins. But understand, if you don't take a loss sometimes and learn from it, then you're never going to reach the fullest potential that you were meant out or that you were meant to reach. If you don't take a loss and learn sometimes, you will never reach your maximum potential. If you're always only playing people that you're better than, I watched a video, it has to be a couple years ago, and I think it was Tony Robbins was talking about a conversation that he had with his daughter, and she was doing really well in dance, right? And he made that comment to her. He says, well, that's fine. Are you dancing only against people that you're better than, or are you dancing against people that are better than you? Because when you dance against people that are better than you, that's how you pick up additional skills. That's how you get better. It's how you improve. You have to constantly learn and constantly be growing. I've said in previous episodes, there is no stagnation. There is no center. You're either moving towards a goal or you're moving away from it. So you want to be constantly growing and moving towards a goal. So that's my message for today. Thank you so much for everybody who did take the time to tune in live. I hope you're gaining something out of these. Do me a favor. I always ask, I forget to ask at the beginning, please, if you will share this episode, just click the little share button. Whether you're watching, I've got a couple people here on YouTube. I've got some on Facebook. Just click the share button, throw some likes in there, throw some loves in there, share it with a friend, share it in a group. And I'd love for you to help me get the word out about the front. And the front is all about, leadership, leading from the front, constant growing, constant momentum. And, well, that's what I want to offer you. So thank you for those of you that did tune in live. If you're tuning in later, thank you so much. I hope you're getting something out of this. Also, if you are tuning in later, please participate in the comments. I would love to hear what it is that you have learned from your losses or failures, however it is that you may view them. And I would love to hear from you on what you're doing to grow. So that's going to bring us to a close for this episode of The Front. Until I see you next, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. We'll talk to you soon, everybody.